Okay, well, it's great to be back with Cookie Green from Stuttering to Confidence, a wonderful Facebook site, better than mine by far. And Cookie, what is our topic today? What is our question? Go ahead.
Well, I'm so excited about your new book, and I know that you are excited too. And one thing I'd love for you to do is just to give us a little peek, a little short peek view at what this book is going to be about, how it's going to help us, and just just kind of talk to us a little bit about it. Stir up some good juices, and we want to hear about this book.
Okay, all right. Well, good. So here's the first box of books. See, and here's the book. It's actually going to be available on
Yes.
Amazon on Wednesday, October 18th. And we're
Great.
recording this today on Monday, but we're going to put this out on Wednesday. It's called Free to Speak, My Journey from Stuttering to Public Speaking.
Oh,
And so what's in the book? So let me just give you a quick background why I wrote this book. I was a pretty severe stutterer, and I went through some really difficult times. I struggled terribly, and
yeah.
I compromised my career. I compromised almost my life, really, to avoid stuttering, and I just went through a lot, as many, many, many people do.
Yes.
And in my mid 50s, after I had opened up my own business, after a year, I realized I didn't have enough clients, and I, I realized I had to improve my speech because I'm in the investment field, which is based on trust and expertise. Trust has to come first, maybe
Mhm.
expertise first, but trust is important because I'm asking for $1 million. And I couldn't say $1 million. I couldn't ask tough questions. I couldn't get deep into conversations. By that time, by 55, I was able to have small talk. I was able to do that actually pretty well, really. I mean, through getting out there and being in the workforce, I had
Yeah.
really improved my speech a lot. But I couldn't say my name. I couldn't make phone calls to people I didn't know. I couldn't ask difficult questions.
Mhm.
And uh, that's like, for an investment advisor, that's like you have both hands tied behind your back, you
That is.
know, because you don't have to be a perfect speaker, but you have to be able to, express confidence and trust and be able to ask difficult things of people. Anyways, so my back was against the wall, and I was kind of desperate, and so I feel so fortunate that I have worked through my stuttering. It was over really about a 2 year period.
Yes.
I had improved my speech over the years a lot, but
Yeah.
by then I had a lot more to go. I could have made it through life if I didn't have to make a living, let's put it that way, selling stuff
Yeah.
and presenting stuff. And I could have, been in some other work and I would have been fine. But so what's the book about? The book is, so that's why I felt I had to write this, because I feel so fortunate that I'm able to speak freely. And that's why I named it Free to Speak,
Oh,
because
great.
I feel free to say whatever I want, whenever I
Mhm.
want. And it's an it's a feeling I never thought I would have. I was just trying to improve my speech a little bit. I had no idea that I would get this far. So the book is about, it's, I almost wrote it how it came out, not by intention. It's almost in thirds. The first third is what I went through up through age 55. And people who have read it, who stutter, say, wow, that's that's my life. I mean, you and I have lived the same thing. And it's true. I have found that I have lived the same experiences people in, people in Africa, people in Asia. Everywhere I talk with people, we all have pretty much the same experiences.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so you'll see what I went through, and I am very open. There are people who have said, "I can't believe you said these things," and frankly, there are some people who thought I would lose some clients over this because I have opened my life up entirely. And some things are not too flattering about me, and but I thought it was important to share those with people
Yes, it's so
because
real.
many people have gone through the same experiences. Then the next part of the book, the next third of the book, is what I did to improve my speech. And I am not a perfect speaker. Um, there are times when I can, if things are moving too fast for me, if I'm in a foreign country, if things are going really fast, I can still have my moments of stuttering, but I, fortunately bring myself back to how I speak and I'm fine. But in the mainstream, I really don't stutter at all in my normal life. But that is not to say that if the moment comes up, there it'll be, but not like how it used to be. Okay. So I went through. So what did I do? It's basically in three parts. I relearned to speak. I completely relearned to speak. I threw away how I spoke. I relearned to speak by mimicking broadcasters, and then um, try, basically in that breathe emphasized phrase, just a simple mimicking of broadcasters, and then making that automatic so that I don't have to think about it. That took a lot of work, a lot of reps, just pounding it into my brain. You know, it, and so now I don't even think about it. I really don't think about my speech. All right. The second thing I did was I realized, okay, so I changed how I spoke, but I realized that stuttering for 50 years had a real impact on how I think and how I live. And my basic line is 50 years of stuttering really messed me up. And so I had to completely retrain my brain, rather than avoid, go to, situation, rather than shorten my senses to the bare minimum, uh, lengthen, tell everything I want to say, rather than anticipate blocks, which I did 24/7. That was my whole life, anticipating where I'm going to stutter and then trying to switch words and say ums and uhs and all that, and just to say exactly what I wanted to say. And many other things. I completely retrained my brain, frankly, by doing the opposite. I tried many different things before I came to that crazy thing. I was so desperate. I just said, fine, I'm just going to do the opposite. It's just out of desperation. And I realized, wow, this is working. Well, as it turns out, that's a tenet of cognitive behavioral therapy. Go ahead.
That, that is the key almost to flipping the script, just do just the opposite. I mean, that's almost, I mean, you can manage your stutter just by thought that you did. I call it flipping the script.
Yeah, I mean,
that's perfect.
I wouldn't say that would get you all the way there, because I felt it was really important to have a foundation of good speaking habits. And so the breathe emphasize phrase, that was my attempt to have really good speaking habits. But I did have to address the psychological impacts, which were unbelievable. And that was fascinating. I mean, once I got going, it was like an adventure. It was like I'm in the jungle, I'm in the Amazon, I have a machete, and I'm cutting through brush, and I'm discovering new things about myself. And I put that in the book. You discover along with how I discover. And finally, what I did was I worked through speaking situations one after another in very small steps in increasing difficulties. I was not a hero whatsoever. If you met me, you'd say, wow, he's a pretty big guy. And I played football in high school and all that stuff. And I was, I felt I was invincible. Not with this, not with my speech. I was as fragile as can be. And so I had to work through those one after another in very small steps. And I found that because I was taking such small steps, I was having successes. I never had successes. And for once in my life, I was feeling actual confidence, and I was building confidence, which I call stacking confidence, one after the other, until I reached my highest goal, which was to say my name. And I was finally able to say my name confidently at the age of 57.
Yeah.
57. And that changed everything because I never had to hide it. I could handle any conversation. You can ask me anything, and I can handle it. And that wasn't the end of everything, but that's the basic thing in the book. And then the last, more than a third, is my insights on stuttering, and I'm building confidence. So that's about a third of the book. And then I have an appendix on a roadmap of how I would approach things. And then 20 questions that people ask me about stuttering and about improving their speech. And that's the book. I wrote it as tight as I could. I chopped out wherever I could to make it a really fast read. And I priced it below market so that people could buy it easily. There's an ebook for $5.95 and paperback for $15.95. So I hope
this sounds like it's going to be, yes, it's going to be phenomenal because I enjoy how you say baby step, because there's a lot of people who are scared to death to jump out and take action. So even if you take a little baby step, you can advance yourself. But I really, for some reason, love that flipping the script, because a lot of us feel negative. If I feel negative about speaking and I have to do a speech, instead of feeling negative, feel excited. Try that. Try feeling excited. And a lot of times that works. Or if I feel like I'm going to go into a block, with that script in my mind, it's like what I think I do. So if I flip that script, that gives me that freedom to go past that block. So interesting to see your roadmap of how you got there, some of the wonderful things that you have done. And I just can't wait to get my hands on this book. But I know that you are going to be doing a book review on the 22nd, I think you said it is. And I just can't wait to be a part of that. But I just want to thank you for giving us some insights, because you shared some really good tips just now. So I can't wait to just read that. If a person reads that, that gives them hope. So I just thank you for that. Thank you so much.
And and that's really the core reason why I wanted to write this, is because I wanted to give people hope that even if you struggle with stuttering for 50 years and it was so ingrained in me, it was who I was.
Yeah.
That at any time that you can take action on this. I never thought I could get to this point, and I would never tell people you can get to this point, but you can improve and you can get more comfortable speaking. And like you and I were talking about before we went on recording here, that just getting out there and speaking, just having the experience of speaking. So much of my improvement came before this 2-year period. And it was just it was just getting in the workforce, and I was forced to speak finally, and I was talking more. And one of the biggest things I found in this whole experience was that you may not think that you're ready to take it on. You may not feel capable, you may not feel you're in the right spot right now or anything. And frankly, neither was I. Neither was I. But once you start making a little progress, it becomes a real adventure, and you build confidence just one small step at a time. And it's exhilarating. It was truly the most exciting thing that I ever did when I was getting up to the higher levels of my experience, when I was taking on situations that once paralyzed me. It was like I was knocking down doors and I was looking for new challenges. And so this was not an easy thing. I mean, I have to stress this was a ton of work. Even before I got to the psychological stuff, I had to build that foundation of really learning to speak. But once I did and made that automatic, I put that so deep into my brain, things began to happen, and it was an incredible adventure. And I hope other people share this adventure. At least they'll have a taste of it from the book, and then give it a try on their own. And I mentor people for no charge. I'm happy to talk with people on the phone, on Zoom, and I appreciate this opportunity to meet with you, Cookie.
Oh, and I just thank you for sharing that. I am so excited because there's so many people out there struggling, and I feel this is a good avenue for them to free themselves. A lot of times we don't know what to do. We feel like that we're stuck in this rut, and
I was stuck for 50 years.
and to see somebody actually write how they went through it, kind of on a step-by-step thing. It gives you hope. It gives you hope. And I just thank you for being a major part of the stuttering community and helping out in such a great magnitude. So thank you for that. I just enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, thanks. We'll talk soon. Take care.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.